Hello, friends. Welcome to the Second Phase podcast. I'm Robin Graham, your host, and a brand marketing strategist and photographer passionate about helping women connect and grow their audience and get more clients. I am so excited you are here with me today to chat all about branding, personal development, and life overall in the second phase. What is the second phase? The second phase for me was a change in careers and learning how to navigate a new world and build a business from the ground up, when I was actually terrified to put myself out into the world as something new. For some, the second phase is a significant lifestyle change, a traumatic loss, a move, an illness. It could be any number of things. No matter the definition of your second phase, we are here together to learn about creating a brand that stands out and makes an impact, and grow as our authentic selves and follow our callings, our passions, our visions, and our values. Now grab your cup of coffee or the dog's leash and let's dive into a new episode. Hello, everyone. I am so excited to introduce the Attract More Clients Accelerator Workshop. Join me for this 3-day event to kickstart your brand for 2021. We'll meet live at 12 p.m. Eastern Time in the Female Entrepreneur Insider Facebook group on January 11th, 12th, and 13th. Each workshop will take approximately 30 to 45 minutes. I won't take up a ton of time from your day, but I think you will want to be here. You're going to be inspired, you're going to learn, and you're going to be really motivated to take your personal brand and your business to new places in 2021. Not to mention have more success because you're going to attract more clients. So join me January 11th for day 1 of the Attract More Clients Accelerator Workshop. We will be doing an inventory of your brand messaging. In order to convert your audience to clients, you have to have clarity, confidence, and connection. Clarity builds confidence, confidence builds connection, and connection builds trust. When you have clarity, you have more confidence and you trust yourself more. When you have more confidence, your audience has more confidence in you. It's like a ripple effect. When your audience has more confidence in you, they trust you. And what happens when they trust you? They buy from you. We'll dive into the details and create a blueprint for a clear brand message that builds confidence and connection for increasing trust so that you can attract more clients and make more money in 2021. Doesn't that sound great? I will see you on January 11th for day 1 of the Attract More Clients Accelerator Workshop. Mark your calendars. Intentions. What are they? They're basically a purpose or objective for achieving something. If you have a goal, you set an intention to achieve it. Intentions come in all forms and sizes. It could be something as simple as setting an intention to clean the house on Saturday morning, or to making $200,000 by the end of 2021. Anything is possible if you set intentions or live with intention. Some of the areas in life and business that we can be intentional are with relationships, listening, intuition, goals, strategy, social media, and self-care. So I am recording this episode, and it's one of those things that I needed this pep talk as much as I needed to record an episode to share with all of you. 2020, as you know, has been absolutely a year of insanity. And I've struggled from time to time throughout the year with setting intentions and living my life intentionally. And this has been something that I guess I've had a lot of ebbs and flows with throughout the course of my life. And so I thought it was a really good time being the end of 2020 and looking forward to 2021 and really thinking about intentions and being more intentional with everything that I do. And I'm hoping that you could use this as much as I can. So here we are together, and I'm going to just keep going and proceed with my thoughts on intentions and being intentional, living with intention. So before we talk about how to set intentions in each area that I mentioned before, or how being intentional can change our lives, let's understand a little bit more about intentions. When we set an intention, we are opening up to receive what we want. Think about setting intentions as a guide for our days, our week, a month, or a year. If you want direction, you have to establish it up front. An intention serves this purpose. When you set out to go to a friend's house, for example, so say your friend moved, so you're going to visit them at their new house. You use your GPS or the Waze app, if you're me, to give you step-by-step directions. Likewise, when you are setting goals for yourself, you need to intentionally map out the actions you need to take to get to the finish line, to accomplish the goal. Just like driving to your friend's house, there are multiple routes you could take. There may be construction or heavy traffic, or God forbid, an accident, and you'll be redirected. But you can still get there. The intentions we set are like the GPS. As long as we've set them and we have a goal to work toward, no matter what obstructions we have, what interferences we have, what distractions we have, we can use the intentions as our roadmap. It's about taking intentional action. The power of intentions comes from starting what you want, declaring your goal or desire, and how you want it to happen. When setting intentions, we are more likely to take action than to leave the result up to the life events happening around us. It's pretty easy to just be like, okay, well, I would love to reach that goal, and then kind of sit back and do some things, but not really take that intentional action. Things aren't going to happen for us if we do that. Intentions aren't about manifesting material things. We hear so much about this, manifesting things. I guess they could be about manifesting material things, but they are more about our emotional well-being. Kelsey Patel refers to it as the mind, body, and spirit triad. Intentions should be set based on overall goals and objectives for the well-being of mind, body, and spirit, which collectively will include our brands and businesses, because this is life as a whole. In other words, there has to be intention with the intention. It kind of sounds like we're talking in circles, right? But we're not. It all should make sense when we get to the end. When setting intentions, it's also key to have gratitude for the blessings we've already experienced or have. Approaching intentions with gratitude will allow us to come from a place of peace, not want and scarcity. Gratitude, for example, for previous successes or successful relationships takes us to a mindset of confidence, not fear or desperation that comes from those thoughts of scarcity. There is no time limit to intentions. Intentions can be set monthly, weekly, or daily, but no matter the timeline, we must remind ourselves of them and take time to focus on them daily. When setting intentions, we can start with a mantra and then incorporate the mantra into our morning routines. Write it when you journal, say it when you meditate. If you meditate, I'm like the worst at that. Say it when you take your lunch break and again at bedtime. Say it as often as you need to keep it front of mind. Deepak Chopra wrote, the ancient Vedic text known as I'm going to say this wrong probably, but the Upanishads declare, you are what your deepest desire is. As is your desire, so is your intention. As is your intention, so is your will. As is your will, so is your deed. As is your deed, so is your destiny. He goes on to say, our destiny ultimately comes from the deepest level of desire and also from the deepest level of intention. The two are intimately linked to each other. Just like our personal brands are linked to our whole being, our desires and intentions are woven together. So let's break down how we can be intentional in those areas that I mentioned earlier. We'll start with relationships. If we want successful relationships, we can't leave them up to fate. We have to take action and set intentions to communicate, to show love, kindness, respect, and vulnerability. Relationships with family and friends, colleagues and clients are all a two-way street. We have to set intentions for being present in the relationships if the relationships are going to blossom into something deeper. We'll move on to listening. Are you a good listener? If you are, I commend you. Cheers to you. I'm raising my glass to you. Being a good listener is so much easier said than done. How often do you deeply focus? And when I say you, I'm referring to me too, when having a conversation. I'm guilty of going on about my work, and even worse, picking up my darn phone when my husband or kids are talking to me. It's awful. It's rude. Thank God I catch myself now and stop before I commit that ultimate insult. But in all seriousness, listening intently is hard. Our lives are going so fast-paced around us that we often have surface conversations instead of truly listening. Listening with intention is something that we all need to do more of. Listening with our mind, body, and spirit to show respect to our families and friends, as well as to our colleagues and clients. If we don't listen with intention, two things happen. One, we miss out on important information and feedback. And two, we insult the one speaking to us. Okay, intuition. Let's talk about intuition and intention. How do they go together? Well, do you follow your gut? Intentionally listening to our intuition, that gut feeling, can be so powerful for our overall well-being and the well-being of those around us. Our gut tells us things all day, every day. Little warning signs to slow down and really think before acting, or a rush of pleasure that tells us to proceed full speed ahead. Listening to our intuition, our gut talking to us, is key for making good decisions in life and business. It can also impact how we treat others. Our intuition is powerful at picking up the world around us and the needs of others. It could be something as simple as noticing someone seems down and intuition prompting us to ask how they are, to give them a chance to express themselves or ask for help. Intuition can also save us from those harmful situations that we need to avoid. It's important to be intentional about listening to and following your intuition. Don't ever ignore those gut feelings. God made the body so intricately that it communicates as an entirety, gut to mind, mind to gut. All right, let's talk about goals. Goals, desires, wants, dreams, those things we want, but our mind sometimes gets in the way of. In order to achieve our goals or have our dreams come true, we have to be intentional about setting them and taking effective action to accomplish them. I say effective action, it's kind of intentional action at the same time. Same thing. It isn't enough to set a goal and sit back and wait for them to come to fruition. We have to intentionally establish an action plan to achieve them. Start by stating the goal out loud. Then journal about the goal and the steps you think you need to achieve it. Next, tell a friend or family member about your goal so that you have an accountability partner, someone who will call you out when you are getting in your own way, and someone who will praise you when you've taken action to achieve the goal or achieved the goal. Setting intentional goals includes setting goals that are achievable through intentional action. If we set unachievable goals, intentional action may not get us there anyway. It's important to be realistic so as not to set ourselves up for failure and then fall into that place of no confidence and a scarcity mindset. Strategy. How can we correlate or relate strategy with intention? Let's talk about strategy and intention. So whether you're talking about relationships or goals, we have to have strategy in place. We have to have intention around who we want to serve and how we will serve them. This is personal relationships and business relationships. If we want a successful brand, we have to set the intention for telling our story and sharing enough about ourselves that we can become recognizable and memorable and build trust. That's what personal branding is all about. It's about building trust, putting out enough information that our ideal audience is going to get to know us, believe in us, love us, and trust us. Strategy comes into play when creating content to tell the world our story and welcoming others into our community, our audience, so that we can ultimately serve them. Have an intentional strategy that provides clarity with what you do and who you serve. Be intentional with differentiating yourself by creating content that demonstrates your unique skills and the value you provide. It's important to have intentional strategy to build an action plan that allows each action step to propel us forward for another action that will ultimately lead us to a series of actions that will achieve the success that we're going for, that we really deeply want. Let's talk about social media. A hot topic, right? I can't forget to mention this. Social media has beautiful benefits for building relationships, staying in touch with family and friends, creating community, collaboration opportunities, and attracting clients. Some people get almost all of their business strictly from their social media accounts, especially Instagram. But social media, if not used with intention, can lead us down a rabbit hole of comparison and imposter syndrome, resulting in a lack of productivity so that our intentions are never accomplished. Be aware of when you are picking up your phone. Are you using it as a numbing tool? Do you pick it up when you are sad, frustrated, overwhelmed, or anxious? Just going down that rabbit hole of other people's content numb your mind so you don't have to feel those emotions that you were previously feeling? When you pick up the phone, are you picking it up with intentions of posting, of engaging, following up with someone, building relationships, or creating collaboration opportunities? Be mindful that each time you pick up your phone, you are picking it up with a specific intention in mind. And if you don't have an intention in mind, put it back down and focus on the intentional action you were working on previously before you picked up the phone. It's such a habit to pick up that phone. So just start paying attention. And this is something that I have been working so hard on. It's not easy, but I've been working so hard on it. When I pick up that phone, if I am just picking it up out of just the habit of picking it up and scrolling, I'm putting it back down just so that I can keep myself focused. If you begin practicing intentional social media use, you'll see a huge difference in your productivity level because you won't be as distracted or succumb to comparison or imposter syndrome as often. I've noticed it with all of mindset work and being more self-disciplined. I've noticed this. It's a huge benefit to not pick up that phone without being intentional. Okay, so lastly, self-care. Be intentional with your self-care. Keeping with the GPS analogy I used earlier, if your gas tank is empty, you will not be able to serve others with intention. When you are tired, you can't listen with intention because when you're tired, you can't focus as well and you become more easily distracted. Without regular exercise, your body won't have energy that you need to push through the long days of taking intentional action to accomplish your goals. When you don't exercise, your body isn't as healthy and therefore your mind isn't as healthy. The mind needs the endorphins released with exercise to help boost energy levels and your creativity levels. And we all need creativity, even if we aren't in what we would call a creative field. If we are creating content or we're working with clients or, serving other people or even with our family, we do need creativity. Creativity is such an incredible outlet, especially for keeping stress at bay and keeping anxiety at bay. So it's really, really important to have that exercise and have our bodies release those endorphins so that our creativity can flow and we can get into a creative process with the work that we need to do. So exercise can also help decrease anxiety. If you ever feel yourself just feeling really, really anxious, really upset, if you go out and just go for a walk, just a jog around the block or a walk around the block or run up and down the steps a few times, you'll see that anxiety level will go down, if not completely go away, and allow you to focus even better. It's also important to be intentional with your mental health. Take breaks, journal, meditate, block out time for daily devotions and time to reset. Doing so will help you find joy which will help you stay positive when it's time to do the action items that aren't as fun or take more patience. Practicing gratitude will also help with maintaining a sense of peace, joy, and patience as you implement your intentional action plans for your business and life success. I want to leave you with something a little bit fun and inspiring. If you haven't seen it, check out Justin Bieber's music video or listen to his song with, I think you say it, Quavo. It's Quavo. He's another artist, but it's titled Intentions. I'll include the link to the video in the show notes. You can find it on YouTube. It was so inspiring. The song isn't really about the type of intentions that I'm talking about in this episode, but it is talking about relationships. So I encourage you to watch that video. It was inspiring. I really enjoyed it. So if you found this episode helpful for being more intentional, if it motivated or inspired you to be more intentional, please share it with family and friends who might need to hear this message too. And let me know your favorite takeaways in the Female Entrepreneur Insider Facebook group. I would love to see you there, and I would love to hear or have you tell me what part of this episode really resonated with you. So hop on over to the Female Entrepreneur Insider Facebook group or hit me up in the DMs in Instagram. I'm there too. All right. With that, I'm going to close out for today. I hope you all have a blessed week and be intentional. And that's a wrap, friends. Thank you so much for listening today. I am grateful to have you here with me. If you enjoyed this episode and found the information helpful, will you please take a moment to subscribe and leave a rating and review? That would mean the world to me. It will also help others find the podcast. I really look forward to getting to know my listeners. Will you please connect with me on Instagram? You can find me at The Robin Graham. You can also find me on Facebook and LinkedIn as Robin Graham. And I invite you to join my private Facebook group, The Brand Marketing Insider. Please spread the word about the Second Phase podcast. Until next time, remember to smile.